Hello and welcome to video number 4 in my VO Fundamentals Voiceover Back to Basics video series. The first video talked about having the right mindset for success in voiceover. Then we talked about audio quality and the importance of making that the best that you possibly can. The third video, we talked about techniques to help you give your best performance so that you can win more auditions and ultimately make more money in voiceover. And today in this fourth edition of the series, I'm going to talk about marketing. Now, you can have a lot of talent, you can have the best equipment, you can put out a great product, but a great product with no marketing is not going to result in much of anything for you. So it's not just a matter of getting better from a performance perspective, but it's also understanding marketing and then getting better and evolving in that area of your business as well. So let's talk about marketing because it doesn't have to be complicated, but it does require ongoing, consistent effort to make it work. The major guiding principle when it comes to marketing, and you'll hear this if you ever talk to a financial advisor or when somebody's talking about investing, they always talk about diversification is the key to success. Not putting all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak. So in voiceover, it's really no different. In any business, it's no different. If you had one customer and one great customer, and then that customer dies, goes out of business, runs out of money, what do you do? A few years ago, I was coaching a voiceover student who had, in a few years prior to that, had landed a really big national TV campaign. It was a 6-figure job. And in his words, he did very well that year. But since then, had literally not landed a job, and several years had gone by. That's not a career. That's hitting one big home run and living off of that for a while, but you can't live off one job regardless of how well it pays forever. Well, I guess in theory, it could pay enough, but in voiceover, you're not going to find one job that's going to take care of you for the rest of your life. So the idea is that we need to have a multitude, a variety of clients coming from a variety of sources. So how do you go about doing that? And let me also just draw one more analogy for you, if I may. I like to call my marketing plan, my marketing strategy, the marketing wheel approach. And I want you to think of marketing channels or a way to find voiceover clients as the spokes in that wheel. If you were to have a wheel with no spokes, obviously it wouldn't be useful at all. If you had only one spoke, i.e. one marketing channel, it would be of limited value and it wouldn't be a very steady, stable ride. But you get 2 spokes on that wheel. Now it's starting to become a little more stable. You get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spokes. Now you've got a very smooth and steady ride that will produce ongoing, consistent results. The last thing that you want is to get one job, even if it's a great job, and then find out the next month you can't pay your bills. So by having a diversified approach, a number of different marketing channels, and a number of different clients, you will help to smooth out the ups and downs and ensure that you have a consistent source of revenue, regardless of the economy or whatever may happen. Because if one client disappears, and clients do go out of business, it happens all the time, and new ones come on the scene. So if you don't have a plan in place to consistently cultivate new clients, then it's going to be a bumpy ride for you. But again, it's not complicated and you can do this. So where do you begin? There are a number of ways that you can look for clients. So I'm going to touch on some of those, but this is by no means an exhaustive list. Of course, there are paid platforms, often referred to in the industry as pay-to-play platforms, which by paying a fee, you're going to get access to a large volume of potential clients and auditions, and many of those very high-quality auditions. And it's a very important part of my marketing mix. There are a number of freelance websites, and I have students who do quite well on freelance websites. The audiobook market, that's another market to look at, especially if you're just getting started, because that work tends to be easier to get because there are so many audiobooks that need to be recorded. Then you can get into direct marketing. And by that, I mean actually contacting prospective clients directly, primarily media production companies, video production companies. Did you know that there's literally tens of thousands of video producers and video production companies around the world? Which brings me to another point. When you think marketing, don't think local, don't think regional, don't even think national. Think globally, because the market for voiceover talent it's really limitless. That's been my experience. And I'll just give you an example. Yesterday, I worked with a client in the United Arab Emirates. The day before that, I worked with a client from the UK. I actually did a Microsoft Meetings call with he and 3 of his colleagues there in the UK. And one of the reasons they told me in that call that they wanted to use me is because I had an American accent. So the idea being that them being in Europe and me being an American accent gives their company having this sense of a global presence. And I have a lot of clients in Germany. I've done work for clients in Australia and in the Middle East and a lot in South America, in India, in Russia. And, it's funny because here in the U.S., it wouldn't be uncommon to use somebody with a European accent, French, German, British, to convey a sense of international presence. And it's the same thing in other places. The grass is always greener wherever you're not. So the point is, there's a very broad demand for voiceover. So don't limit yourself by any means to your local market, to your regional market, or even to your national market, because there's lots of opportunities everywhere. And so I've given you 4 or 5 good places to get started. I've even used Craigslist. Some of my best clients have come through Craigslist. And one of the best jobs I ever landed was for Rosetta Stone. This was a number of years back. And I found that through Monster.com at that time. So it's really only limited by your own imagination and your own willingness to go out there and do the work. But think like an investor. Think diversification. More channels, more clients, the greater the consistency and steady revenue that you'll receive in your voiceover business. I'm so glad you watched this video. If you feel like you need a deeper dive and want to learn more about developing a voiceover career, I encourage you to go below, click the link. Thanks for watching.